Hi, I'm Lloyd and this is my TB2 Realtime 3D presentation. For ideation, I wanted a weapon that was Dune inspired, it had like a natural material, it was sleek in design, and I wanted it to fit the color palette of brown, orangey, grayish, like the sands. And then for my animation cinematic, I wanted it to be an intense animation where the protagonist is being followed by an ominous threat. I wanted it to be an injured escape where he's desperate to head back to the ship. I first started off with my polygon model where I made a low poly version of my prop uh, in which I was able to make a good UV unwrap of it where there was only one seam, one visible seam at the back, and then from there I was able to subdivide it and create a high poly mesh in which I used Maya sculpt tools to create and stencils tools to create micro details and create this wooden finish on my high polygon model. From there, I baked this high polygon normal map onto my low poly mesh and began using my layer workflow where I combined the black masks with mask generators and created more details that I wouldn't be able to do just by filling in uh, the polygons. And as you can see, through mask generators, I was able to make like smooth gradients between the colors, as you can see, from whitish brownish to dark brown to orangey in the middle, and all through the gradient generator. From there, I moved on to my animation, where I acted out my sequence where I acted injured at the start and looked at my Chris knife or my knife and look behind its obvious threats and then see and I see that I have to run injured as it could be chasing me. So from there, I bring the Echo rig into my project and then create a pose library. And I find this crucial for Unreal Engine 5 animation as I can just select any I can quickly select the control points I want to without having to manually select individual ones. I then did the 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 standard animation workflow where I blocked out the most exaggerated poses from my uh, reference that I've acted out, and then posed that and keyed that uh, onto my sequence. And then from there, I added in betweens to smooth out this animation, and I also parented the Chris knife with the body rig and made the motion of the knife seem fluid and seamless within the hand. This animation workflow was done with as well to my introduction scene where he looks back, and again I do the in-betweens, and then I move on to spline to finally smooth out this animation. I also finally add the cameras in which I was able to create a master sequence and use each shot create a shot sequence to render out from Unreal. What went well and what wasn't good? I followed the high to low poly baking method to preserve details from dense polygon mesh. I worked with black masks and mask generators to create finer control for details and make parts of the mesh look a certain way. I feel like I did a good job blocking exaggerated and dynamic poses as well for my animation. However, what wasn't well was I needed better previs for my camera placement as I just placed them. I placed these cameras on the fly whilst doing my animation, and it just wasn't as good as it could be if I had planned it out better. I have to work on my timing on the animation and edit the curves to speed up and slow down actions to make it feel more dynamic and less rigid and smooth. I also must continue to block out more in between frames as the animation still looks very choppy.